We're joined by our special correspondent. Welcome to the team, Caitlin Clark. Yes.
First time in MSG for a Knicks game, so it's pretty cool.
I know, it's our first Knicks game, first time feeling the atmosphere. We got to get you to play on this court one day.
We have to talk to Adam about that.
Can we make it mellow? Honestly, if there's someone
Even if it's a preseason game, we got to get it done. I don't think the Liberty will want to move a game over here, but we'll play anybody. It'll be fun.
Yeah. How could you describe maybe the atmosphere your first time in it?
Well, I think as a player, like, this is kind of when you feel the atmosphere the most, is when you're out on the court warming up. So, I mean, there's just a different type of buzz. And obviously when LeBron comes to town, it's probably really different. But, you know, Knicks fans are crazy, and I love it. I love people that are passionate about basketball, so it's pretty incredible.
Cathy Engelbert witnessed her biggest fear become reality. The moment Caitlin Clark inked a major NBC analyst contract that operates entirely beyond WNBA jurisdiction. Confirmed sources reveal the commissioner had a complete breakdown, placed aggressive calls to Clark's representation, and privately branded her disloyal to the league. As the WNBA struggles through labor disputes and faces possible work stoppages, their most valuable asset just locked in life-changing money. Commentating on men's professional basketball, is Caitlin Clark's NBC partnership brilliant strategic planning or abandoning the WNBA when they need her most? Share your unfiltered opinion in the comments.
Lakers and the Knicks taking center stage here for the 302nd overall meeting. And for the first time ever, we've got basketball night in America, the first Sunday in February. And we're joined by our special correspondent. Welcome to the team, Caitlin Clark. Yes.
First time in MSG for a Knicks game, so it's pretty cool.
I know, it's our first Knicks game, first time feeling the atmosphere. We got to get you to play on this court one day.
We have to talk to Adam about that.
Can we make it mellow? Honestly, if there's someone
Even if it's a preseason game, we got to get it done. I don't think the Liberty will want to move a game over here, but we'll play anybody. It'll be fun.
Yeah. How could you describe maybe the atmosphere your first time in it?
Well, I think as a player, like, this is kind of when you feel the atmosphere the most, is when you're out on the court warming up. So, I mean, there's just a different type of buzz. And obviously when LeBron comes to town, it's probably really different. But, you know, Knicks fans are crazy, and I love it. I love people that are passionate about basketball, so it's pretty incredible.
The timeline matters critically, because what's happening right now is catastrophic for the WNBA. The organization faces its most severe labor crisis ever, with the collective bargaining agreement set to expire October 2025. Players are threatening to boycott the entire 2026 season unless they receive improved compensation, upgraded travel accommodations, and increased revenue distribution. Negotiations have completely stalled, with neither side willing to compromise. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert is frantically attempting to maintain stability while juggling angry players, anxious sponsors, and panicked team owners worried about massive financial damage if games get canceled. The league's fundamental structure is dangerously close to total breakdown. This represents a genuine survival moment for the WNBA.
Days away from the start of the 2026 season, but the WNBA and the Players Association are still negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement, with the latest meeting actually scheduled for tomorrow. You can take a look at last year's off-season calendar. The league is already behind schedule. No expansion draft yet for the two new franchises in Portland and Toronto. And ahead of last season, the Golden State Valkyries expansion draft, you can see it took place in December of 2026, and they're scheduled to tip off May 8th. Caitlin, I'm just curious, because you said that this moment right now is one of the biggest moments the WNBA has ever seen. Looking forward into the future, what would you like to see happen as you come to a negotiation?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's just a big moment for the WNBA. I think all of women's sports, I think this is one of the biggest moments we've ever had. So, you know, I feel very confident that we're going to get something.
Then during this complete organizational turmoil, Caitlin Clark reveals she's partnered with NBC to work as a basketball commentator alongside icons like Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. She'll provide analysis for NBA matchups on Basketball Night in America, NBC's premier basketball broadcast designed to directly challenge ESPN. She'll contribute during LA Olympics programming and integrate into NBC's enormous sports media infrastructure. The announcement timing devastates Engelbert strategically. While she's pleading with players to maintain solidarity during labor talks, her most prominent star just showed she possesses alternatives that require zero WNBA involvement. While she's reassuring sponsors the league maintains stability and viability, Caitlin just confirmed her commercial appeal extends far beyond women's basketball boundaries.
In this moment because of the product we put on the floor, so we need to be able to continue to do that. And I know everybody's working really hard. There's a meeting tomorrow that's super important, and I truly do believe we're going to get something done here in the next couple of weeks. But like you said, I mean, there's a lot of boxes that we still need to check. We've added two new teams. I mean, there's going to be more players than ever, and then we have to get into free agency, then have a normal draft as well. So there's a lot of things left to do, but I really do feel confident that both sides are going to
Sources connected to WNBA executive leadership described the internal atmosphere with a single term: complete meltdown. Allegedly, there were explosive confrontations, frantic phone exchanges, and one particular accusation that keeps surfacing repeatedly: traitor. Engelbert supposedly placed an aggressive call to Caitlyn's management team immediately after the announcement leaked, with witnesses describing the conversation as hostile and confrontational. She reportedly accused Caitlyn of sabotaging the league, creating distractions during crucial labor discussions, and deserting fellow players during their most critical battle. The commissioner apparently operates under the belief that Caitlyn owes the WNBA absolute allegiance, and should concentrate exclusively on backing the players' union instead of developing her individual media empire. This worldview is profoundly disconnected from reality for numerous reasons, starting with the most fundamental question: what precisely has the WNBA done to deserve Caitlyn Clark's unwavering loyalty?
Caitlin Clark, I'm curious though, because one of the things he said was like, I'm thinking in my mind, let's keep them quiet. Have you gone into a big game with literally that on your mind, like walking into the arena?
Well, I feel fortunate enough. A lot of the arenas we go into, a lot of people are cheering for our team, which is pretty nice.
Snap.
But there are some road games. I think even the Liberty fans, San Francisco, the Valkyries have a great crowd. Like, you want to take them out of it right away. You want to make them call the first time out. I think that's kind of what we always talk about, but that's what makes it fun. And I like what he said. If you're a star, like, these are the games you show up for. And that's really true. Like, these are the games that just mean a little bit more, like MSG on a Sunday night. Like, that's what you get up for.
Return to Caitlyn's initial professional season in 2024 when she endured physical violence on the court game after game. Opponents hip-checked her, threw elbows, and deliberately targeted her with clear injurious intent. Officials largely ignored the brutality and the league office took zero action. Engelbert never publicly condemned the attacks or demanded improved officiating standards. Caitlyn was abandoned to defend herself against systematic physical assaults calculated to intimidate and hurt her. Then veteran players launched a media offensive calling her manufactured hype and suggesting her recognition was undeserved. Rather than immediately shutting down that narrative and protecting their investment in the league's most valuable commodity, Engelbert remained completely silent, allowing the toxic story to spread that Caitlyn was overvalued and didn't merit the attention she received. The Olympic exclusion possibly represented the most outrageous institutional failure when the entire sports world demanded Caitlyn's selection for Team USA at the Paris Olympics. She was America's most popular basketball figure, and her participation would have generated unprecedented viewership and global interest. The selection committee rejected her with transparent excuses about team chemistry and veteran experience. Engelbert could have intervened or minimally advocated publicly for inclusion, but she chose neither option. When observers question why Caitlyn feels no loyalty to the WNBA, the explanation is straightforward. The league never shielded her, never defended her, and actively permitted veterans who envied her success to mistreat her. Why would she sacrifice her financial security for an institution that views her as expendable? The NBC partnership functions as Caitlyn's protection strategy. If WNBA games get cancelled due to labor conflicts, she'll continue earning millions analyzing NBA contests on network television. If veteran players persist in isolating her or demonstrating hostility, she can exit the league permanently while preserving her income and public visibility through broadcast work. She's constructed a fortress existing entirely outside WNBA authority, and Engelbert is absolutely enraged about it. What makes this situation especially destructive for the commissioner is that the WNBA generated profit for the first time in organizational history during 2024, and that profitability was powered almost exclusively by Caitlyn Clark. Her appearances produced historic television numbers. Her merchandise shattered sales records. Arenas reached capacity when the Indiana Fever visited. And corporate partners signed agreements specifically seeking association with Caitlyn's cultural influence. Engelbert understands Caitlyn represents the irreplaceable asset, and losing her means returning to sustained financial losses and cultural irrelevance. Instead of ensuring Caitlyn felt appreciated and protected, the league permitted her physical and social brutalization. Now she's relocated to NBC, where she'll receive treatment befitting her generational talent. The alleged use of traitor reveals everything about Engelbert's perspective on this development. In her framework, Caitlyn belongs to the WNBA and owes the league her career, platform, and loyalty, so signing a significant media contract without commissioner approval constitutes betrayal. That viewpoint is fundamentally inverted, because Caitlyn owes the WNBA nothing, while the WNBA owes Caitlyn everything. She rescued the league from obscurity, delivered mainstream attention that revolutionized the business structure, and demonstrated that women's basketball can generate sustainable profit when properly marketed around the correct star. Instead of expressing gratitude, Engelbert labels her a traitor. Veteran player jealousy introduces additional toxicity to this dynamic, since Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, and other established names spent entire careers pursuing a fraction of the mainstream recognition Caitlin just secured. They've completed countless interviews, promotional events, and advocacy efforts attempting to elevate women's basketball. Then this player who hasn't finished 2 complete professional seasons leaps past all of them to secure the dream position most athletes only obtain after retirement. That bitterness will contaminate team chemistry if the WNBA season actually proceeds. But here's the crucial difference now. Caitlin no longer requires their acceptance. She attempted being a collaborative teammate during her rookie campaign, tried earning veteran respect and conforming to established hierarchy, and it failed because they resented her regardless. She now operates on a completely different plane, and if they choose to marginalize her or demonstrate hostility, she can transition to her NBC career without sacrificing anything. Nafisa Collier, Players Association Vice President, reportedly revealed some of Engelbert's confidential remarks during internal sessions. According to Collier, Engelbert explicitly informed players that Caitlin should feel grateful to the WNBA for her endorsement contracts, apparently arguing that Nike and Gatorade only signed Caitlin because of the platform the league supplied. This logic is genuinely unhinged because Nike and Gatorade partnered with Caitlin due to her generational ability combined with extraordinary fan engagement and marketing potential. They're not committing millions because they cherish the WNBA brand. They're investing because Caitlin Clark individually drives product movement and generates consumer excitement. The league remains incidental to her marketability, and Engelbert's failure to recognize that reality demonstrates how thoroughly disconnected she is from contemporary sports economics. The NBC arrangement positions Caitlin alongside broadcasting icons and places her before enormous audiences that dramatically exceed WNBA viewership, since Basketball Night in America represents NBC's effort to compete with ESPN's NBA programming. They're allocating substantial resources to talent acquisition and production excellence, selecting Caitlin as a featured analyst because they believe she attracts viewers and delivers compelling perspectives. This creates terrifying leverage for Caitlin that Engelbert is only beginning to comprehend, because previously the commissioner could fine Caitlin or apply pressure through league mechanisms, but now Caitlin works for NBC Universal, a media conglomerate infinitely more powerful than the WNBA, meaning the authority balance has completely reversed. If conflict emerges between league preferences and NBC preferences, NBC prevails every single time. The nightmare scenario for Engelbert involves Caitlin positioned in the NBC studio with microphone access and ability to shape public perception about the WNBA with individual statements. She could critique officiating standards, expose salary inequities, discuss veteran player mistreatment, reveal details about toxic organizational culture Engelbert has permitted, and millions of casual sports consumers would encounter that perspective initially. That's why the commissioner is experiencing explosive fury, since she recognizes she's surrendered narrative control. Previously, she could manage Caitlin's media coverage through friendly WNBA media collaborators, but NBC doesn't prioritize protecting the WNBA's reputation. They prioritize generating compelling content that increases viewership. If Caitlin chooses criticism, NBC provides the platform for it. The strategic excellence of this maneuver cannot be exaggerated, because Caitlin recognized the WNBA possesses limited upside potential and perpetual administrative chaos. Player compensation is restricted by collective bargaining agreements. The season is abbreviated. The league operates unprofitably most years, and even becoming the WNBA's biggest star means earning a fraction of what mediocre NBA players receive. Instead of wagering her entire future on the WNBA's capacity to expand and prosper, she diversified by constructing parallel income channels through endorsements and now broadcast work that exist completely independently of whether WNBA competition occurs. That represents textbook athlete business strategy, and Engelbert, viewing it as betrayal rather than intelligent planning, reveals how unsophisticated league leadership actually is. The Olympic dimension deserves examination, since NBC holds exclusive broadcasting rights for Olympic Games, and they're incorporating Caitlin into their Olympic coverage for the 2028 Los Angeles competition. She'll become one of the faces representing American athletics on the international stage, regardless of whether Team USA basketball includes her as a competitor. She's secured that platform now, completely eliminating the leverage the Olympic Selection Committee wielded over her, because USA basketball officials snubbed her for Paris, assuming they could control her career path by determining Olympic participation. But now she'll appear throughout Olympic broadcasts anyway. As analyst and ambassador, she strategically outmaneuvered them completely with zero available countermeasures. This also establishes fascinating dynamics for 2028 Olympics because if Caitlin simultaneously competes for Team USA while working as NBC analyst covering other competitions, she becomes the crossover phenomenon transcending individual events. She's not merely a basketball competitor, but a media personality who happens to perform basketball at elite levels, and that positioning carries far greater long-term value than simply being the premier WNBA player. Engelbert's hostile reaction exposes the antiquated mentality still controlling WNBA administration, since the commissioner apparently believes she owns players and dictates their destinies, expecting loyalty and compliance in exchange for the privilege of participating in her league. Modern elite athletes don't function that way anymore, especially athletes possessing Caitlin's marketability level and alternative options. The comparison to NBA star management is enlightening because when LeBron James signs media contracts or constructs business empires outside basketball, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver celebrates publicly, recognizing LeBron's success elevates the entire league and creates opportunities for other players without jealousy or betrayal accusations, just acknowledgement that star athletes should maximize earning capacity across all available platforms. Engelbert views Caitlin's NBC partnership as competition rather than complementary, apparently believing any attention or revenue Caitlin generates outside the WNBA somehow diminishes the league. That zero-sum mentality explains precisely why the WNBA has struggled for decades achieving financial sustainability. The timing relative to labor negotiations proves particularly devastating because Engelbert needs players presenting unified solidarity and demonstrating the WNBA is essential to their livelihoods. She needs leverage convincing team owners to increase revenue allocation and enhance working conditions, but Caitlin just confirmed she doesn't require the WNBA whatsoever since she can accumulate generational wealth discussing basketball on television without ever competing on a WNBA court again. That undermines the entire labor negotiation approach because if the league's most prominent star doesn't need them, why should ownership agree to substantial salary escalations and expense commitments? Caitlin's NBC contract actually weakens the players' union's bargaining strength by demonstrating elite talents possess exit alternatives. Cathy Engelbert just absorbed the harshest education in sports business. You cannot dominate generational talent through intimidation and bitterness. Caitlin Clark constructed an empire beyond WNBA jurisdiction, and the commissioner's furious betrayal accusations only reveal how catastrophically the league failed protecting their irreplaceable asset. The authority structure just permanently inverted. Hit that like button and subscribe to witness this conflict continue developing.